Dogs' nails need to be kept short for a multitude of reasons, but did you know that you can cut your dog's claws yourself and not have to rely on a veterinarian or professional groomer to clip your cute canine's claws? Home grooming will not only save you a lot of money over the years, but it can also be a bonding experience as well as beneficial for your dog's health because they won't have to be sedated during the process. But why do I need to clip my dog's nails in the first place, I hear you asking? Good question, I'll tell you. Dogs' nails grow all the time, just like ours, and can cause discomfort and pain if they're left to grow out too long. This discomfort and pain can result in decreased mobility and may be the reason your dog isn't too keen to go on walks or is apprehensive to run for long periods of time. Leaving your dog's nails to grow too long can also cause your dog's toes to splay, which can potentially lead to issues with their legs and paws, such as balance problems, pain, broken bones, and poor circulation. So trimming the offending claws can really help maintain your dog's health. Injury can also occur when overgrown nails break and tear if they get snagged on things while you and your long-clawed Canis familiaris are out on your adventures together. This breaking and tearing can be quite painful for your pooch and may even require veterinary attention if their claw gets caught on a random obstacle, whether you two are climbing, caving, or just cruising down Main Street. Tears, splits, and breaks are more common than you may think and are just part of having claws. It can be a dog's life sometimes. Split happens. So what are the tools I'll need to cut dogs' claws at home, I hear you ask again? Another great question. You're full of great questions today. Well, luckily for you, we have the answers to all these absurdly specific questions, and you may even be able to guess the first item on the list. Nail clippers! Yes, as strange as it may sound, nail clippers actually do a great job of clipping nails, but not the ones you use on your inferior human nails. Unfortunately, the flat nail clippers you use on your own digits are the wrong shape and size to use on your precious pup's paws, and can hurt and damage your dog's claws. There are quite a few variations of nail clippers that will work on dogs' claws, such as scissors and pliers styles, but we suggest the guillotine style nail clippers as they're the perfect shape to cleanly cut through the claws. Dog nail grinders are also a good option and work equally as well, but are noisy and can be quite pricey compared to the traditional clippers. A dog-specific nail file will also be needed once the initial clipping has been done. A nail file can be used to smooth out the jagged edges of the freshly cut claws so that you're not left with permanent scratches on your expensive wooden floors or doors. If you're the type of dog owner that doesn't mind dogs jumping up for hugs to show affection, then the nail file will be very important to ensure that your dog doesn't lacerate Granny to smithereens when she comes over for a visit. If you accidentally cut the sensitive area of the nail, which contains nerves and blood vessels, it's recommended that you also have styptic powder or a styptic pen at hand. The sensitive area of the nail is called the quick and can bleed if you cut it by mistake. Styptic powder is a coagulant, which means that it helps to stop minor bleeding if you accidentally cut into the quick. To avoid cutting into the quick, carefully examine your dog's claw before cutting. Look for a pink area that can be seen through the nail. This pink area is the quick, and you should avoid cutting into this if possible. But mistakes do often happen, and that's why we suggest having the styptic powder close by, just in case. Your dog may become anxious or agitated during the clipping process, and a towel or blanket wrapped around them can help calm their nerves and make it easier to handle them if they get a bit squirmy. There is a reason we humans call a blanket for children a security blanket, and that's because the feeling of being wrapped in a blanket can make us feel a lot safer and secure. And the same is true with our four-pawed friends. Having treats with you can also make the process of clipping your dog's nails a lot easier. Treats will not only distract them from the task at hand, or should we say, task at paw, but will also help to positively affirm their patience after each claw is successfully clipped. You can also choose to reward your dog after all the claws are clipped if your dog seems comfortable with the clippers, but rewarding them after every successful claw clipped may just be the incentive they need to look forward to the next one instead of dreading it. Now, with all your tools gathered, you're ready to undertake the task of tackling the terrible talons. Choose a location where you'll have enough space to work and where you and your patient pup will both feel comfortable. Wrap your dog in the comforting blanket or towel if they look uneasy or otherwise anxious. Before you get to clipping, introduce the clippers to your dog so they can get used to the tools you'll be using. Allow your dog to sniff and lick the clippers so that they become acquainted with the clippers. "Hello there, doggy. I'm here to make your paws happy," you can say, using the clippers as a kind of puppet. I mean, you can do that. I'm not saying it's a vital part of the process, but you can. Nobody's going to stop you. Hold your dog's paw firm but gentle in your one hand and look for the pink part of the nail called the quick, which we already know is home to the nerve endings and blood vessels we want to avoid. Touch each claw with the clippers to get your dog used to the sensation of the clippers on the nails. Clip the clippers closed to allow your dog to get used to the noise that the clippers make so that they don't get startled at the sound and pull away when you're actually clipping the claw. Cut the nails using your clippers at a 45-degree angle from underneath the claw just below the quick. If you are not too confident as to where the quick is, it may be useful to wash your dog's nails first to remove any muck that may be obscuring your vision, or shine a light on the claw to make it easier to see where the quick is. If you are still unsure where the quick is, it's better to err on the side of caution and not take too much off to begin with. If you do take too much of the nail off and notice a bit of blood, that's when the styptic powder comes in to stop the bleeding. Apply the powder to the affected claw and wait for the bleeding to stop before moving on to the next step. When you're satisfied with your clipping, you can move on to the nail file to soften and smooth the jagged edges you've created with your nail clippers. Gently work the nail file around any rough or sharp bits of nail and smooth them out. You will not need to do this if you're using a grinder. Now is a good time to reward your dog for being so patient. Give them a treat after they've patiently sat through the ordeal to signal to them that they've done a good job and that you're proud of them. Move on to the next claw, allowing for a break in between each claw if they seem anxious about the process. The treat should keep them incentivized to want to continue, as they'll pick up that they get a reward after each claw is done. If your dog seems too agitated to continue after the first claw is cut, don't feel as though you need to cut all the claws in one sitting. Doing one claw a day until they're all clipped is a perfectly good strategy to slowly get your doggo used to the process. Each dog has their own patience quotient, limitations, and anxiety levels, so do what seems best for your particular pooch.